Rick, you guys dropped this one by 11, and 12 of that game deficit was from the third quarter. You entered today with the third worst third quarter net rating in the league. Why do you think that's been such a problem point for you guys, including today?
Don't know.
Defensively, they had 4 starters, over 20 points. What did you feel like was the key cause of breakdowns on that end?
To get back to your first question, we probably got to do something different at halftime.
The 4 starters over 20 for the Cavs, what do you feel like were the key breakdowns you guys had defensively today?
Mitchell, got going, and we had some mistakes there, and part of it, he's a great player. He just jumps over you and makes shots. So some of that stuff you can't do much about. But yeah, look, I mean, the first 3 quarters were rough. Fourth quarter, I liked our fight in the fourth quarter. We kept at it, and we're not gonna give in.
I think they just had 3 straight threes, something along those lines. I think you guys held like 10 or 11 up until that point defensively. What was that? How much of that was just them having really good ball movement on those shots? And then did you see breakdowns on your end? Was that just a couple of really good offensive plays on their end?
Yeah, it was. There were chain reaction plays, and they could shoot. They could shoot, and they got us in rotation more than we wanted to. And I'll have to look at it to give you the exact breakdown, but it was. There were problems, and they made shots.
I said, what just impressed you about Drew today? Obviously, he came out in attack mode from the beginning. Just what did you like about his all-around game today?
Yeah, and I believe it's a career high for him. So it's obviously we need our star guys to be stars. He's one of our stars. Pascal's one of our stars. Ben's going to have to be one of our stars, but. Star players got to do everything, not just score. And so, we're gonna lean heavily on these guys to take defensive matchups, to be leaders on the floor, and the need to score the ball. And so, those 3 guys in particular are very, very important.
I guess on the flip side of that, what do you need? I guess what's reasonable to ask offensively from the rest of the game. And I think overwhelming majority of the points have come from guys who have been around, from Mathurin, from Siakam, from TJ, from Andrew.
There's a pretty good percentage of shots that I like that didn't go down tonight, and we just simply have to stay the course. And if you're open, shoot. And that's it. And I go through this whole thing, every other game about how I don't look at stats. I'm just looking at body language and how guys are stepping in, and that's the most important thing is to be in position and focus on process. And we're going to make our share of shots. We made plenty of shots against Charlotte. Tonight was more difficult.
You guys have talked for years about how you knew Drew was capable of creating his own shot for others, but has been in an off-ball role at times. What have you thought of how he's done doing that since he came back from injury?
Yeah, there's a lot on his shoulders, and he's having to create too much. And I want to get some of this load off of him, and so we've got to do a better job offensively. And I got to look closely at this game. I mean, this is a high-level team, and they played us physically, and we had too many possessions that weren't good possessions, and so we've got to be able to have shot creation, and so certainly a lot of it comes off of our better players and our creators. TJ is a big part of that. Mathurin is going to be a big part of that because he gets the ball places, and he's gotten better and better at making those simple reads and simple plays, and we're going to need him to do that.
Ben, what did you feel like were the challenges for you guys defensively? They had 38, I think, in that third quarter, 120 for the game.
Just getting some stops, man. Couldn't get no stops.
Rick was talking about how you, Drew, and Pascal had, I think, 79 of you guys' points tonight. course, he wants you guys to be scoring and be creating, but finding the right balance of how much to put on you guys. What do you feel like is the right balance for you guys offensively between, you guys who can create shots, doing as much as you can, but still keeping everybody involved at the right levels?
I think you said it yourself.
Huh?
So I think you said it yourself. You just gotta recognize what's good for the team, and everybody to be able to help.
They obviously, I think you guys held them to like 11 until like the last, couple of minutes. They hit three big threes in a row. Just what do you think they did well as far as, what got you guys in rotation and kind of created some open shots for them?
They run the same play. Stop it. We got to get back and watch the film and be ready for next game.
What are some of the things you saw break down defensively in the second half? I guess you obviously had a pretty good overall fourth quarter, but they had a couple big shots in there, and they had their 38-point career. Just where did you see them get you?
Well, I think the point of attack. You got to be able to guard actions 1-on-1, 2-on-2. That puts us in rotation. They make us shoot threes and then move the ball. Late in the game, they ran stack action, back to back to back. We didn't guard it right.
What got kind of tripped up in there on that stack action?
What
went wrong on that stack action for you guys, or was it something that went right for them?
I guess communication, just understanding what you have to do in that position. Just didn't get it done. I don't know exactly what the problem was, but they beat us in different ways, same play.
32 is your career high. Scoring, what have you kind of, especially this year that you have the ball all the time at the point, found is the right ways for you to attack and get your shots, especially on a night like tonight where it's going in a bunch?
Where do I attack?
Yeah.
Spend a lot of perimeter attacks off ball screens, guard to guard, big to big. Kind of just trying to find it in the flow, but we're still working on what's best for our team to win games and where everybody needs, how we all need to score together as a unit.
What do you feel like is the next step in getting that to where you want it to be?
Gotta watch the film, gotta lean on the coaching staff, but still figuring it out.
Well, I think one thing that Rick said, he feels like he's putting too much on you to some extent. There has to be a little bit less as far as on your playing forward, as far as forcing you to create everything. What do you think that means? I guess. In what ways that could pressure be taken off you?
In the past, we've succeeded with ball movement, random, having a couple playmakers in the court who play off of each other. Right now, with one PG on the court, it's a little different. We're kind of initiating a lot. Just different. We're just trying to figure out how to win games. It's not about individual performances.
You guys entered today with, I think, the third worst third quarter net rating of any team. They outscored you guys by 12 in that period today. Do you notice anything in that quarter that feels off compared to other stretches of the game, or is that just coincidence?
Struggled on offense, and that kind of takes away our whole plan of picking them up and getting them to play our speed. We kind of ended up playing their style. I don't know where they made shots. We didn't get good looks. And then buttoned our defense.
What's just the challenge been of getting so many different new guys involved? Especially in situations where you're adding new players who weren't on a team 2 weeks ago and just getting them used to.
We're messing up plays sometimes because of people not knowing stuff. It's hard. You got signed 2-3 days ago. Now you got to play the game. Figuring out how to play with guys, their tendencies, their feel, what we're trying to do as a team. So, it's a tough situation. We're just trying to help guys along and see what works for this specific group.
With 38 points in the second and third quarter, would you kind of see break down defensively, I guess, in that quarter, and also just in some of the threes they hit sort of late in the fourth?
Honestly, probably just a step slow. We weren't getting to our matchups quick enough. I know we went zone. We made some good plays out of that. It was a shit quarter, but sorry for my language, but I thought we made up for it in the fourth. It was just one of those where we were getting broken down and having to recover, and they were making shots. So it's just a tough quarter.
It's obviously, a really, really good team, as you're seeing. What makes Mitchell, Mobley, all of those guys, when you have to deal with all the no-ones at tough coverage, it's what's that like for this group at this point to have?
It's a good team over there. And they got really good players, and they made big shots, big plays, and we made our push in the fourth, and they answered it. You got to give them credit.
Pascal, Ben, and Andrew combined for, I think, 79 tonight. What does the rest of the group collectively need to do to better support them from a scoring perspective?
I think you said it. We got to support them better. This guy to my right has been unbelievable. Drew's been unbelievable. Everyone that you said, awesome game tonight. I think we've got to help them out a little bit more.
How would you assess the play of the bench since you returned, and how that group's been able to kind of function? I know that it's changed almost every game, but
yeah,
just in general, what have you thought of it?
A little inconsistent, but we're still just your iPod. There's still lineups that we were juggling with, since I came back and trying new stuff, and no excuse. We've got to be better, and just got to fix stuff that needs to be fixed.
What is the challenge like of just getting everybody used to it? It's just been a different team every night, almost all season long. What's that?
Again, it's not an excuse. We've got to figure it out, and no matter what lineup's out there, we just got to play our butts off and share the ball and let the chips fall.
What's one thing Rick said is he felt like some pressure needs to be taken off of Drew in terms of being a playmaker and stuff like that. What is that? What can that mean? I guess because there's obviously minutes where you can play with him as well, but you can't do that the whole time.
No, I know. But I think there are minutes that me and Drew can play together.
Sure.
I think we showed that. And ultimately that's up to Rick. He's a Hall of Fame coach and really knows what he's doing, so we trust him with lineups. But if he wants to play me and Drew together, I know we'll be ready for it.
Well, I guess what all in total could be done to take pressure off Drew or take this burden off Drew in terms of also what he does offensively and defense?
In terms of usage, maybe having someone else bring up the ball. If it's not me, it could be Ben. Play P. At like a 0.4 and give Drew a little bit of rest, and certainly having guys out there that can guard the other team's best player, so Drew gets a rest on that end.
I haven't talked to you since you returned. How would you assess just your own play so far? I know you said finally and had your hands up to the crowd in that Charlotte game. What was that kind of moment in this kind of stretch of play for you too?
Yeah, it hasn't all been positive. I've never hurt a muscle before, so I think the process getting back has been more difficult than I anticipated, just in terms of my wind and my legs. I'm doing everything I can to continue to build that, and I think I anticipated some inconsistencies with the flow of the game and my rhythm, but I feel like I'm starting to come into that.
How do you feel physically? How much do you still notice it? The hamstring, I think, is something that sticks with you for.
I don't think it's the hamstring per se. I think it's just your legs getting back to playing. This many games and the rehab process, and it's tough, but I'm up for it.